So this video was an idea that I've been thinking of working on for a while, but I never really had the motivation or the time to really think about it due to scheduling issues and other stuff I've mentioned beforehand. Anyways, today we're gonna be talking about a channel you've probably heard about before from the countless videos my YouTuber friend Agent Paradox has made of this guy. But anyways, let's begin this venture.
Genius. It goes ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum. I be Lord of the Rings, I manifest. Represent from the den, I don't wear no vest. I got a heart in my chest, it goes ba-bum, ba-bum. I sway halfway, the day's hump, get over. I be Lord of the Rings, I manifest. Represent from the den, I don't wear no vest. I got a heart in my chest, it goes ba-bum, ba-bum. I sway.
Now, as you can probably guess from the thumbnail, today we are going to be talking about Barber Streams, which, as I said before, was a channel I was gonna talk about back in April or May of this year. Before I even get to the more serious stuff about this guy, I would just like to react to a few of the videos he made a few days ago or even months ago, just to give you a bit of a gist on what we're dealing with. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's view this video, which hopefully I don't have to censor, due to the fact this is on YouTube and remains on this app without any restrictions.
I was beating my meat the other day and I was thinking about how I really want to get married. Like, no joke, marriage is something that I've always wanted since I was a kid growing up, and like having that happily ever after. But one thing I will say is that it seems less likely the more the years go on, because the amount of stories I've told, honestly, it's gotten to the point where I feel like no woman would end up being interested in me. But one thing I will say is that, is marriage counseling actually useful? Because my experience of a marriage counselor was not good at all. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another crazy but also super embarrassing story. Now, this story all takes place back in my high school years, and this was actually my grade 12 year. It was my final year of grade 12, and I was getting ready to graduate and move on with my life to better things. At least so I thought. But I remember I had a girlfriend at the time, and me and my girlfriend were really close. If anything, we were really like one of like the iconic couples in my grade 12 year that many people looked at and actually looked up on. I don't know why, to be honest. Like, we weren't doing anything special other than hanging out at lunchtime together.
And we're already off to a bad start. Like, what was the need? Like, to be completely honest, why did you need to mention your nutcase? If you know what I mean, it just presents you as a weird little freak that's trying to grasp straws for attention. Like, don't take this the wrong way, you're absolutely obligated to make those kinds of jokes if you want. I make edgy jokes all the time, but considering the fact that most of your content is weird shit like this, then maybe chill with the jokes. Also, for anyone wondering, yes, his stories are fake. I would just like to clarify that before I move on to the remaining footage.
It was like a really big deal that we were a couple, and many people looked up to us as the power couple in our high school. But I think the funniest part was that a lot of people got to see the outside of things, but not the true inside between our relationship. Now, I know it's not good to expose like in-depth, like online, like how your relationships are and stuff like that. Like, for many people out there that have like those family channels or watch those family channels with like people like showing their insides of the relationship in every argument, it's not a good idea. My opinion, if I ever had a girlfriend, you guys would not know about it. I'm gonna be brutally honest. You guys definitely would not know until like I got married. Then maybe I'll do like a live stream wedding on my Twitch page and just, you know, do this big thing. Yeah, it all sounds crazy, don't get me wrong, but still, going on with the story. I remember one day I was sitting in a cafe and I was just minding my own business doing my math homework. I decided,
like, bro, stop making yourself seem like such a gentleman for not posting about your girlfriend, cause we obviously know you goon to animated characters and get your stories from a certain black and orange website. But anyways, moving on from this guy's foolishness, the main reason why I don't like this kind of videos, cause it objectifies actual victims of these situations with stereotypical discourse, which is seen as content, if you know what I mean. Like, there is no way you've encountered these scenarios so many times, but the best you can do is pretend as if that this is a liable source of content. I don't know, man, maybe I'm just overreacting, but this guy's stories are definitely fake without a doubt.
Cafe, I was just doing my thing, and randomly out of nowhere, my girlfriend walks in. She walks into the cafe and she looks at me and starts yelling at me in front of everyone. No joke, she looks at me and she's like, Bubba, what are you doing here? We're supposed to have dinner with my parents. Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, no, I totally forgot. Honestly, like, is it possible to reschedule? I really got to get this math homework done. No, Bubba, like, we've been together for over like 6 months and you've been avoiding my parents for like the last 3. Like, seriously, like, it's time to meet them for once. Yeah, eventually I could. It's just, you know, today's just not the day. Okay, well, you totally just ditched out on me and my parents. You need to think about your life, or you're gonna end up single for your grad. After she says that, she ends up getting up and walking away, and I felt super embarrassed because a lot of people were looking at me, totally confused on what in the world was going on. So after this happens, I consider myself leaving the cafe because I'm like, there's no way after everyone staring at me, I'm gonna stay here any longer. So I end up packing my laptop, I pack my things, and and then right as I'm about to leave through the door, a lady walks up to me. Now this lady, she looked like she was like in her mid-30s, and she actually looked pretty attractive. She had blonde hair, she was wearing like a short skirt, but she had a really nice outfit on. And I remember she looks over at me and she says, "Hey, is everything all right?" Yeah, no, everything's good. Just girlfriend stuff. Oh, so she's not your wife. What? Oh, no. She's just, someone I'm seeing. Oh, well, why haven't you met her parents yet?
I'm just gonna end that video there cause I realize how this video is gonna escalate from there and I don't wanna get into that stuff as of now. Anyways, we're gonna react to one more video he made a few months ago, which I probably can't say without the risk of this video getting wiped from the platform because YouTube favoritism is a real thing, folks. But moving on to better news, I'm not expecting this video to be better than the last one, so keep an open eye also.
So I'm not gonna lie, the story that I'm about to tell you seems really out of pocket from the title, but I can assure you it's a lot weirder than it seems. But let's just say I have to really be careful of where I shoot my nut because you never know where it's gonna land and where it might go. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another crazy but also super embarrassing story. Now I'm recording this story super late at night. It is literally 11 at night, so you already know this story is about to be juicy. But it all starts off back in my high school years, and this was my grade 12 year, the year I was graduating. Now, graduating is a really big deal. A lot of people don't understand how big of a deal it actually is, but let's just say for anyone that is in school right now, make sure you guys graduate. It makes you a better person. It opens doors for a lot of bigger possibilities in the future, so you don't have to end up like me, making videos about how you, well, I guess do the devil's tango. But anyways,
where do I even begin? Like, bro, you don't need to tell us at this point that your videos are weird. It's pretty obvious even for a newcomer of your content, especially when you have a group of degenerate lackeys in your server who chat about this as a flex. I'm seriously gonna crash the fuck out the second I hear him say Devil's Tango in his video, because I know that's a prominent theme throughout his videos. Also, guys, before I forget, please go check out my friend Cyan Kid's video on this topic he made a few months ago where he dived deeper into this mess than
anyways,
I could
enough
ever
about
do.
me. I remember one day I was walking down the school hallway and I was just hanging out with a couple of my buddies. Now me and my buddies were all excited for graduation at this time because we were all ready to basically go, I guess, get into the real world, when in reality we actually weren't ready, but still it was, like I said, a big deal for us to graduate. And I remember one of my buddies, he ends up saying out loud, "Yo guys, we gotta do something to be remembered. Like seriously, it's gotta be something insane." Like what? Is what I looked at him saying. And that's when he ended up saying the words, "We have to host a massive party, like a party that's gonna go insane." You want to host a party? Well, yeah, think about it. How else are we gonna be remembered? Like, obviously it's gotta be through a party, right? Now at this time, I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't the only person that year with this bright idea.
I would love to say I'm surprised you're not graduating, but I'm really not. Like, you're making videos like this insinuating something weird is gonna happen in the end, but hey, I might be wrong. Like, after I'm done enduring this pain of a video, I'll probably need to take a moment on how in the living hell this channel is still allowed and probably monetized. Like YouTube, you can terminate someone for knocking over a mic, but you allow this shit to remain widespread? Like, make it make sense, y'all.
And there's only one time where I hosted a party and I kind of regretted it. So since then I haven't hosted one. So I already knew for a fact at this time, I was like, yo, I'm definitely not going to host a party. But I mean, you can if you want. Okay, I'll host a party, but that means you have to invite all the girls. You want me to invite all the girls? Well, yeah, you're like the biggest player I know. I don't see a problem with that, do you? At this moment, he was right, because the amount of women I would go up and talk to every day at this time, and not even just that, the amount of sneaky links and just girls I had added on my own phone, and a lot of girls would show up, not only to want to do the devil's tango with me, but just to show up at that party to have a good time. So at this moment, I remember I ended up saying, sure, I'll invite the girls, and another one of my buddies was in charge of the booze and all the other stuff that requires to have a fun party, which, by the way, I do not promote underage drinking. It is not cool and actually makes your brain a lot worse than average.
Yeah, that's enough for tonight. I better leave the video here for now. The fact this guy is warning us about harmful drinking habits to get his ass in the clear in case anyone accuses him of that when he is literally promoting literal corn in his videos is just crazy, to say the least. For anyone watching this video, please, if any of you have a sibling or might as well stumble on this channel, please make sure to report it as much as you can so we can surely get this filth of the platform. I usually don't condone mass report, but this guy is literally violating YouTube's guidelines and is probably making money of this, and I cannot tolerate this detrimental favoritism going on here. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Check out my Twitch I've recently made, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next level. Bye.